maybe about a couple meetings ago. But these are things that we do with our families, with our children, and with people that we're helping in time of their grieving, because we all need help at some time, and sometimes people that are in grief are the ones that we need to watch out for and help throughout their bereavement and grieving. So healing through grief takes time. The first one I have today is take care of yourself. When we're going through grief and bereavement, sometimes that can help to affect us physically, emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. So that sometimes people are not aware to take care of themselves in times of grief, so that we all need to watch out for each other. Even the children, we need to watch out for children in time of their loss and grief. I have to look at my presentations with the magnifying glass, so bear with me. Sometimes you will. Oh wait, I wish I had. Wait. When people are in grief, sometimes they don't feel like anything. Sometimes they're not aware of their surroundings. Sometimes they don't take care of themselves. So people that are with them, we need to be aware of these kinds of things so that we can help an individual or even a child in time of loss and their grieving. Today's world, we have to watch out for what's going on today. All the things that are riots and things that are going downstage, they'll have an effect on us. They're having an effect on us because these are people, some of them that are hurting other people in time of their losses. And that's one of the things that people need to watch each other, take care of each other. The families that were affected will need additional support in their family life. So it's important, and people are valuable. People need our help in time of their loss and grief. We need to talk to them. We need to watch them. We need to help, sometimes even with their children. Talk about grief. It's not going to help us to hold on to our grief and sorrow in time when we're going through losses too. We need to find somebody that will listen to us and not be judgmental, but to just listen to us and to talk about what we're going through, what a person is going through. We need to listen and not be judgmental. Especially for men, it's harder for men to talk about feelings, their hurts and their pains. So our elders always tell us to share with men. Nature is healing. Water is healing. Tundra is healing. That's your place. Animals can help you to heal through some of your grief and losses. If you can't talk to someone, yeah, you can talk to, maybe you have a pet, uh, pet dog. You can talk to them, and they listen to you, and they won't talk back to you. And they'll, when you're done with them, they'll get away from you and shake themselves off. That's to help you to get rid of some of the pain and the hurt that we carry through when we have a loss and we're grieving. And animals also. One of the stories I like to tell that's helped me personally is when I was going through a situation to where I had to go back and forth to the hospital to find out why am I losing my voice? Why can't I, I cough a lot and there's something wrong with me. So I went to the doctor 2-3 times and they said there was nothing wrong with me. So sometimes these things can affect our minds, and that's why we need an understanding person to talk to. We need to have people maybe that have gone through the similar experience we have gone through. And fortunately, in that time period, the Creator saw that I needed help. So those women that were having retreat in Homer, and I lived in Bethel that time. And my supervisor knew there was something happening with me too. So when the women invited me to that gathering to help them coordinate and work with women that were in the retreat, they asked for my support, and I talked to my supervisor. Bless him always, even today. I asked my supervisor, there's some people in Homer that are holding a retreat for women, and they're asking for my support. And my supervisor said, go. He said, but I don't have to go. And I was so glad that he let me go. When I went to this gathering in Homer, when we had meeting in the evening, the people that were coordinating that meeting said, if you want to see eagles come in the morning to feed in Homer shores, and you have to get up early in the morning to see that. And sure enough, I set my alarm for 5 o'clock. I asked my roommate to sleep upstairs. I'll sleep downstairs. I didn't want to bother her sleeping because I coughed a lot, and so she was upstairs. I was downstairs. 5 o'clock, I got up, took my shower, and I went out. And sure enough, the sky was filled with all kinds of eagles coming in to feed in Homer, the beaches on Homer area. And boy, they were just plenty. I never saw so many eagles then. And they landed and they fed, and the ladies told us there was an elder woman down further that fed eagles every morning too. So in prayer, I asked the Creator, please help me. I'm here to provide support for these women, and I need to help myself, but I can find the help in you. Please help me through whatever I'm going through. So I said that prayer, and when I was praying, I saw 2 eagles above me circling. And I remembered what the elders say, talk to animals. And I said, you eagles, you're the Creator's help take whatever is going on with me and take it away and drop it off where it's not going to touch anyone. And sure enough, after I prayed and asked the Creator for help, the eagles started to fly away, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw something coming down, and here was an white, fluffy eagle feather, and I got it from the ground, and I got an eagle feather. I got an eagle, and the lady in front of me thought something was wrong with me, but I waved at her and I showed her what I had. And she said, "Where did you get that from?" I said, "The eagle just sent it down to me." And so I took it back to the group where the women, we were gathering, and I asked the women to bless and, bless the eagle feather in the circle we were in. And that time I asked the Creator, please help me through this. I need to be in full strength. Be here with the women that I was asked to help support in that circle. And I knew when that happened with the eagle feather, I knew, I had a feeling in my heart I was going to be okay before the week was over. Sure enough, before that week was over, I had my voice back. I was functional and I was fine. So when elders tell us, things to do, animals, you talk to animals, take that into heart, especially for men, that it's harder for men to talk about feelings with other people. They say for men, nature is healing, the thunder is healing. Go among the trees, talk it out, cry it out. That's where your strength and your energy, you'll feel better after you do that. Because for men, it's harder to talk about feelings and what's going on with them, with another human being in the beginning. But that's what the elders tell us. The things that they've used before to help themselves, they pass it on to us to use and also put to practice in our lives. Women, when we're cleaning up, maybe we're sweeping the floor. If you're going through emotional pain, like even time of grief, talk to that dust and let your feelings out and throw them away with the dust you're throwing away. Sometimes the elders taught us that the water has energy and it can help you to heal. Go down to the river, wash your hands, let the energy of water take whatever's going on with you. Let the water take it away. Pick up a rock and talk to it and throw it as far as you can. You're letting, elders say, especially for men also, elders say, if you hear yourself talking out what's going on within you, you're talking it out, you're hearing yourself, you're hearing talk about feelings. That's the first step in your recovery. That's what the elders have taught us over the years, is that if you can't talk to someone, go out in nature, talk it out. That as long as you hear yourself talking and you're talking about what's going on within you, your feelings, that's the first step in helping yourself to go into recovery. So these things are very important for us to share with each other. Something that has helped you in time of your own grief or hurt and pain. What did you do to feel better afterwards? Tell your story. so that you can help somebody else tell their story. Maybe you can help somebody else to start talking about their personal hardships and grief and things that are bothering them within their hearts. Have them hear your story and then listen to other people tell their stories. So elders knew that we need people, we need animals, we need the nature around us, every place we go. All these things, because elders teach us that everything has a spirit. If you're going through a stressful situation at your work, go out behind your building and hold on to a tree for a while. The energy of the tree will relieve the stress you're going through. Try it out. I guarantee you it'll work. It'll work. It's worked for many elders, and it's worked for some of us people that put that to practice. So if we, and then the other thing, we need to watch each other in time of their loss or grief is watch the people that are affected. Maybe the mother is, you haven't seen the mother sit down and eat with people that are eating. Invite her to sit with you to eat, because you need to eat and you need to have that energy to take care of yourself. So sometimes when we've gone through deep depression or hurt and pain, we forget to take care of ourselves. We forget to eat. So pay attention to people that are affected. Invite them to your table when you're going to sit down and let them know, let's eat together. Because we need to help ourselves. We need to help our bodies to be, taken care of also, and we need to eat. And give them a cup of water sometimes. Let them drink, because water is healing too. So when we've gone through a lot of grief and hurt and pain, sometimes we let it out through tears, and we just need to replace that, what we've lost, through glass of water. Sometimes it's helpful to even take the person that's hurting and grieving out for a little walk, away from the whole situation. Take them out for a little walk, and maybe you'll be blessed to see them release with tears. Tears are healing. Elders always tell us tears are healing. When we let them out, we let out all the hurt and pain through our eyes, and tears are healing. That tears were given to us by the Creator to help us also. So when you're walking with someone, you take them from the home and just let them get fresh. Let's go out for a little walk, get some fresh air. And when they release through tears, bless them for that, because tears are healing, and they open your eyes and they make you feel better afterwards. So always watching out for each other, helping people, watch the people that are grieving in the home. If you notice somebody, you haven't seen them sit on the table to eat, invite them to sit with you and eat with you. Or maybe you just need to take someone out for fresh air, or bring them down to the water and just brush them off with the energy of the water. Everything around us, the trees, the ground, Mother Nature, those are our healing. They help us to heal too. And then, so even animals, my appa was good in taking care of himself. If him and his wife start to get into an argument, he'll just grab his coat and said, "I'll be back later." And behind his home, he had a team of dogs, and that's where he released and laughed and cried. And we noticed that too when we go back there and peek. Maybe he'd be crying or he'd be laughing. And so he knew how to take care of himself. And that's why our elders tell us to do things or activities to take care of ourselves, even in time of grief and loss, how to help us to heal ourselves. This was an encouragement also. The elders always told us, those of you that can write, record your thoughts and feelings, write them down, and put that, what you recorded, aside after you do that. And later on in the week, read what you wrote. You'll be surprised of the feelings, the things that were bothering you. You have written them down. That's the reason why our elders watch us, and if they know that people are writers, they encourage those people to record your thoughts and feelings, record your grief and feelings, record what's going on within you, record it in your writing. It's like we're asked to journals when we're going to college. That's what our elders instruct our people to do, the people that can write. Because again, the person is taking it out of themselves, writing it down, and later on they can read what they wrote, and they've taken it out of themselves and recorded it, and they're reading it. And if they want to keep that recording, they can keep it, or they can tear it up and throw it in the fire. As long as you're telling your story or taking it out, you're helping yourself to do personal healing. So elders watched all the time. Even when we go through training, they watched us, and they see people the recording and said, use that recording, what you're doing, to help yourself to heal from within. So when we spend time with elders, they have a calming effect on people. Bring them something prepared, cooked meal, and go visit them. And they don't have to say anything to you. Just spend time with them. Next time you come, maybe they'll say something to you that will be helpful for you because you spend that time with them. Our elders need young people. Our elders need us to spend time with them today. Too many times we've left them behind in homes and not have them take part in our decision makings today in this life. But they have a path, and they have things to help us, how to help ourselves, how to take care of ourselves, because they've been there. They've already walked that life, and they have the wisdom to tell us how to take care of ourselves. And we have to follow through with those guidance and stories and things that they instruct us to do if we want to help ourselves. So those are the things that elders have given us over the years. The other thing is, it's okay to cry. For men, it's harder to cry in public. Maybe that's why they spend a lot of time, our elders, elder men spent a lot of time out in the wilderness because it's private, it's healing. Um, Maybe they've cried, they've done their crying out there, and that's why that they say, especially for men and boys, go out in nature. Whatever you're going through, talk it out, cry it out. After you cry, you feel better. Watch children. They'll cry, cry, cry. Next minute, they'll be running around laughing. And those are our teachers, the children that can do that freely. You know, they'll get hurt and they'll cry, and the next minute they're laughing, running around. And those are supposed to be our teachers also, our children. Watch what they do. They do it so naturally, and that's what we forgot how to do as we grew up, because we've gone through struggles and everything in our personal lives, and we forgot to do the natural things of how to help ourselves also. And that's what, so even children can teach us how to release, how to cry. You know, tears are healing. They open our eyes. They have us see. After we have a good cry, we can see things better. We can take care of ourselves, and it doesn't hurt so bad after we release. So crying is a way to help ourselves if we need to do that through tears, because it clears our mind, it clears our eyes, it helps us to see, focus better after we let out all the things that we need to release from within us through tears. So use crying as one of the means to help yourself. If you know how to do that, if you can't do it with somebody else, go out in nature, do yard work, and let it out that way. As long as we let out things from within, and we see ourselves doing that, or we hear ourselves doing that, our elders say that's where the healing begins with men and women. So that's crying is okay, and we could use it to help us to heal and clear our minds also. Use outside stimulants. When people are grieving and they need to heal, sometimes we need to use outside stimulants in order to help ourselves. Maybe walking, nature walking. Maybe reading good books. Many of us like to listen to inspirational music, people singing hymns, prayer songs, or people like to listen to drumming, songs and drumming. Those are outside stimulants that can help ourselves. We can help ourselves in time of grieving. Take a walk. Beadwork. Some people like to sew. One of the stories that we have is one of the elder women, when she was a young girl, got raped. And the grandmother and the mother helped that young girl to do a quilting. And every stitch that she did, to do it in prayer, even for that person that hurt her. So some of the things that we do, some of the activities, the way we sew or the way we do beadwork, we can always do it in prayer, so that we don't put anything negative in the work that we do. before you go to work in the morning, always ask the Creator to put a protective shield on you. Because like the elders say, like that story I told, healing through the eagles and bringing it home. I told that story in travel we did to the village after that incident. I told that story, and a couple of elders came up to me when we were done, and she said, "You did the right thing. You talked to the eagles, and they took away what was going on with you." Might have been someone trying to stop your work, and they said, "The minds of people is very strong. We have to keep it clear. We have to pray to clear our minds, not to have negative thoughts. You know, prayer, smudging, cleansing takes care of all those things." So the elder said, somebody or some people must have tried to stop your work, because your work with people is helping them. And so she said, the minds of people is very strong. That's why those elders suggested that I, every morning before I do work or before I go out to be with people, I always put a protective shield of God around you. So take care of yourself that way. Put a protective shield around you. Before you get to talk to somebody that asks for help, ask the Creator to put a protective shield on you and on that person you're going to be talking to. So those kinds of instructions we need to use and we need to practice. So take a walk, do some reading. The women especially were told never cook meals for your household or people in anger. Never, our elders tell us, don't ever do that, because you're putting that energy, the anger energy into your cooking if you do that. So they always tell us, be in good spirit when you're preparing food for people. So always, whatever we're going to do, always ask the Creator to help us through that activity or work or cooking or whatever we're going to do. I always ask the Creator to prepare it in good spirit, so that we're feeding people to be in good spirits also. So that's something very important, especially for women. We do the cooking. Never prepare food in anger. And the other thing is, if your partner and you get mad and argue, always, the elders tell us, forgive each other before you go to bed. Don't carry that anger to the next day, because you're given a brand new day by the Creator to live in a good way. So that's another strong thing that elders always tell us. If you're talking to your children, instructing your children, especially if they've gotten into trouble, after you talk to them, always end it. The reason why I'm talking to you, the reason why I'm instructing you, the reason why I'm trying to help you correct yourself is because I love you. Always end your talks and instructions and even disciplinary talks, always end them with, the reason why I'm talking to you is because I love you. And so they'll always have that in the back of their minds. My parents love me. That's why they talk to me. That's why they discipline me. So the teachings that we do to our children, always, always let them know the reason why I'm doing this to you is because I love you. That's the teachings from our elders, the way to get along even with our children or even with our partners. And then, so there's a whole list of outside stimulants, ways to help ourselves. Invite. One of the things that was helpful for me and these young people, I used to invite my daughter's friends, the teenagers, a whole bunch of her friends. I used to invite them. I'd ask her, what do you want to do? And invite your friends. Let's go out to eat. If I have a little bit of money, even I'm stingy. No, just kidding. I take them out to feeding and just listen to them. And just, the interaction among the young people, they're good teachers too, because they'll tell you things that are happening out there that you might not be aware of. And so you can be aware of things that they talk about or the things they do together. If we want to have good relationship even with our teenagers, we need to be in contact with them also by talking to them, by inviting them to be part of our activities and listening to them. Most important, listening to them. So these are some of the outside stimulants that can help us through our grief and loss. There's a whole list of them with this using outside stimulants to help ourselves. Draw on human resources, maybe a minister, maybe a counselor, or maybe a friend or team of friends. Let's go take a steam together. Because in our culture, steam is healing for body, mind, heart, and spirit. In the steam, we can share whatever we want to. We can cry together. We can talk about solutions in steam. Maybe somebody's solution can be helpful for me to try out because it worked for them. So steams or saunas are people use as part of helping themselves and to talk out and cry it out in a steam. So that's a beautiful place. I know for me, it's a beautiful place to get to nitty-gritty things that people need to talk about. And we're safe, we're together, and if we need to cry together, we do that too. And so we're not only helping ourselves, we're helping the people that we're taking steam with or taking sauna with. My friend and I love to go sauna in one of the places where there are a lot of activities with exercising and things. They have saunas because we go in and we sing inspirational songs and people would come in, wow, So that's something that helps us to release things that maybe we just need to get rid of, and inspirational songs are helpful. People use drumming and native songs. That's helpful lots of people because drumming is like the heartbeat of humans. That's why we get drawn to it. So those are outside stimulants that can be helpful to all of us. And so ministers, counselor, elders, go visit elders, or call up 3 or 4 of your friends take a steam. So those are the human resources that we can use. Did you say something?
No.
Amelia, did you? Oh, okay. I thought you. Okay, let's take a little breather. Go drink water. Go bathroom. We'll be back again. I just need to drink water before I continue. Okay. Using human resources because we all need help sometimes, and we can get it in to be in contact with another human being, especially someone that's gone through the similar things that you've gone through. You know, they've been there. Maybe they've recovered through whatever you're experiencing, and when you talk to them, they'll understand where you're coming from. And when we do this, when we're with other people that are going through struggling times, and we just listen and always watch not to be judgmental when people are releasing, letting go. Just let them do that because that's what they're experiencing and that's what they're going through. Listen to them. Just listen to them. Sometimes we just need that for someone to listen to us. So being able to listen to other people, not be judgmental, helping them to release is a good way to help somebody that's in time of their grieving. Turn grief into, okay, I gotta look at, turn grief into creative activity. I talked a little bit about that young girl that did with the grandmother and the mother did quilting, doing activity with the grandmother and the mother, doing activity with the child that had been abused as a child. So turning grief into taking steam with people, even the people that are grieving. Take them aside and if they like to steam, take steam with them. Steam is a good way, a good place sometimes for people to just release naturally. If people are into steaming, it's a good place to help people to release, to cry it out. So turn that grief into creative activity, because when you do that, and when you heal through your own grief and loss and what you're going through, when you've healed through that, you'll be able to tell that story to your children or other people to help them in time of their personal grief and loss. So we get we get our stories to tell so we can encourage somebody else to share their personal stories too. So another thing for people that write, journal, doing journaling with that grief that you're going through. Write it down. See what kind of feelings you can identify with that loss, your personal feelings, you know, and then take that writing and go out in nature and talk it out. You're letting go, you're talking it out. It's not within you, don't take it back. Or so writing and journaling is another activity people can use as a way to release some of the stress and the grief people go through. Okay, develop a new appreciation for life. Take care of
Do you want me to read it, Liz?
take care of yourself. You know, invite a friend to eat with you. Invite a friend to walk with you. Put through a little feed. Invite people to eat with, and watch the people that are interacting there, because you're feeding them. They're enjoying what they're having. You know, and it feels good to be around people like that. Sometimes team of us have gotten together and even invite somebody that's going through grief and loss in order to help them. Maybe we'll invite them. Let's go fiddling tonight. And we go together and we enjoy that. We just enjoy that. And that's been helpful for some people that love to fiddle and dance, or go fishing, go boat riding, go fishing. Good days nowadays to go out fishing and be outdoors. Taking walks, taking even long walks. When we first started, when we were asked to stay home and work, I had to start doing things for myself in order to feel better. So I start walking. So, and I've always had hip problem ever since maybe 2004. I've always had a hip problem, but I start walking. 2 blocks, come back. 3 blocks, come back. 4 blocks, come back. Today, because cement and my hip don't get along, today I can walk 10 blocks and it doesn't bother my hip anymore. So when we exercise and let go and, you know, doing things for ourselves to take care of ourselves is ways to feel physically well. You got the fresh air. It feels, the breeze and the sunshine feels good out there. People that go out in their cars and go camping, a lot of good things we can do as family where we isolated ourselves before in time of grief and loss. So being with people is healing. Being with our children is also healing. Being with the Creator by yourself is very healing. So those things are things that can help us to heal through things that we need to work on. Develop new appreciation for life. Being with people again. Invite friends. Go to church, you know, in order to start helping yourselves to feel better. Maybe young men, go out in nature. After you come home, share a little bit of what you did out in nature with someone, maybe a male friend. As long as you're talking out what you've been going through, you're helping yourself. Okay. Go out to nature, become part of it, and spend time with your elders. It's really important if you want to start feeling good, if you want to start helping yourself to heal, it's time to spend time with an elder. Even when you first go visit them, sometimes they'll ask, what do you want? Because maybe nobody's visited them before. They'll be suspicious. But next time, go back and bring a dish of cooked food to share with them. But it's time for us people to spend that time with our elders so that we'll have treasures and things that will be helpful for us that they have shared because they've been there. They know our history. They know our stories. They know our relatives. They'll help us to develop our family tree. They'll tell stories, things that you will remember and try out later to help yourself. There's a team of us, maybe about 30 of us. We've been blessed over the years. That's the reason why I share some of these things that we received from the elders. We've been blessed over the years to start having our elders in our trainings. Rural Human Service training, we always have 2 elders with that training so that people are introduced to their elders. People learn to trust their elders. People learn to respect their elders. And they start, when they go home, they will include their elders in their gatherings and have them talk and have them share, because we need their input. We need their stories. We need our history to know our way of life. That it can be back into harmony again, because they're giving us treasures and stories and history that we need to be able to treat each other as human beings. So those are some of the things that we can do to help ourselves and help each other and help people to start healing from their grief and loss. Because we've learned to turn our grief into positive activity, because we're helping ourselves. We're talking it out. We're not holding it in. We're not getting hard within ourselves by holding some of these losses and griefs that we've gone through. We learn to talk them out. We learn to share them. We learn to help other people share their stories, because we have a story to tell. So lots of these things that over the years we received, I like to share them with other people. The last thing I have is, just a minute. Last thing I have, no, it's not the last thing. Create in time of grieving, help yourself create a place where you can do meditating, where you can do some prayer, where you can share with other people. Have you been taking care of yourself? Have you have healed through your grief and losses and be able to help other people in time of their grieving and loss? So helpful ways, learn to do that. Learn to record some things that have helped you. Maybe if you tell your story, it'll help someone to do their own thing. So let me take a look at the writing again. So look for supportive activities. Go to a mini workshop. Go to a support circle. People have started to use the support circle to help themselves and to help other people to talk about their own stories and respecting each other. The circle creates respect for each other. We're all even in a support circle. Nobody's above us, nobody's below us. We're all equal in a support circle. So ways to help yourself to start talking about some of the issues that you've gone through and help somebody else and listen to other people as they tell their stories. No wonder it's always good to just sit and listen to the stories of elders, because that's the way they help themselves and they help us to laugh and bring in the laughter when we spend time with them. So those are some of the things that are helpful. I gotta look at the sheet again. Another thing, learn to take care of yourself. Buy something special that you need. So many times as a mom or a grandmother, we like to buy things for our families. Sometimes we forget that maybe we need something. Buy that something special for yourself and, enjoy it. Learn to do that. It's not taking away from people. You're helping yourself to feel good. When you feel good, you're helpful to other people. Do something special for your family, so that you're helping your family to start feeling good about. Some of the things I'm watching today that are very helpful in this time that we're going through the coronavirus thing. I watch families be outdoors and play together. I watch a mom playing with two little children. I watch a dad home by himself and creating playful ways to keep their children active. Those are the things that I'm watching today, and I said, good job, working together as a family to create something that's good in a home or within the family. And I hope that these people that are doing what they're doing have this in writing or recording, so that someday when we're all done with this whole thing, they'll bring out what they created or what they've done for their own families and continue that. Maybe because of all the stress that they're going through right now, maybe they won't remember that. But what I'm watching, I always love it if I turn on the TV and I see families together, playing baseball together, or a young father. The mother is working maybe in the hospital with everybody that's working with the coronavirus. Young father doing a creative activity, putting a board where their young child will do bike up and down, you know. So being creative and keeping our children safe and active so that when it's time to go to bed, they'll be nice and tired and they'll go to bed. And when the wife comes home, you'll have time for your wife alone because the children are sleeping. Some of those things I'm watching, I'm hoping that these people are writing that down. They'll remember it hopefully someday when they're together and they can tell that story of some of the things that they're doing, they did with their own families. You know, camping together, family camping together. Lots of time. Some people might not be used to it because that's their the children were watched by teachers and other people, but today the families are doing that themselves. What I'm watching today, I hope that they record that and tell that story someday when when everything is cleared up after this virus thing that's going on. So I watch that and I just love, sometimes I just love what I'm watching with families. I hope that they treasure some of their activities that they're doing together. So, and then the last part of this presentation is know how to rest. Rest, rest, rest. Take time, maybe 5 minutes in your bathroom. Take time even with your own families. Okay, we can take 5 minutes. Nobody doing anything, you know. It's time to rest 5 minutes. You learn, when you put that to practice, you learn how to do it anytime in your work, in your home, wherever you are. When you need time to rest, you'll know how to do that. It's time we learn how to do that as part of our activity in life, learning how to rest. And our elders say, take time to rest and listen to the silence. We didn't, when the elders told us that, we didn't know what they were talking about. Take time to rest and listen to the silence. And what they meant was when we learn how to take time to rest and listen to the silence, a lot of the answers will come from within. A lot of our answers will come from within. They knew how, our elders knew how to do that. That's why they have good stories to tell. They have good instructions for us. They have things that are useful and helpful. Our history, our family tree, our relations. They have all that information, and that's why we need to spend time with elders and again learn how to rest. When your work is chaos, take 5 minutes in the bathroom and just rest. Listen to the silence. And what the elders meant there was that our answers are within us. Their answers also come from the Creator. You know, when we learn how to take time to rest and listen to the silence. So those are the instructions and things that we received from elders that I like to share today because they've been helpful in my personal life And we've shared this to people in Yukon Kuskokwim area because they were also stories and things that were helpful for our elders as they were growing up. And we needed some of that information to settle down ourselves, to calm down ourselves, to heal through some of our hurts and pains through their stories and through what they're instructing us to do. So I'm all done with the list of things, how to heal through grief, heal through grief and put that into useful thing to help ourselves and to help other people. If you have any questions, you can either write them down or